Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo.
It's your girl, Mello.
Okay, what are we talking about today? Coveting. Coveting. What does it mean to covet? What does it mean? Let's start it off like this. A lot of people try to be like other people, and it is not healthy. It is not healthy when a person is trying to their best
To be someone they're not.
basically to mimic someone else's life. In other words, coveting your neighbor is something you don't want to do. It's one of those things that people do all the time. Like, you could be the kind of person who is living your life, and then somebody is trying their best to be like you. Have you ever bought an outfit or a certain coat and you're wearing it at work, and then you see somebody with the same coat
Mimicking.
but in a different color,
Yep.
and you're looking at them like, and you think it's nothing, but they're really copying what you do because they want to get the feeling of what it's like to be you.
So my question is,
Keep the mic close.
do you think they know what coveting is?
Of course not. But they know that they're copying.
Yes, okay.
They know they're copying, but it's not like they understand the principles of
The meaning of the
coveting. And for those that don't know, when you covet, you're actually in sin. When you're coveting, for example, one of the commandments is thou shalt not covet thy neighbor. You know what I mean? Thy neighbor's assets, property, wife, you name it. You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
So when people look at your life and they begin to try to mimic the image of what you have, it's coming from a place of competitive jealousy. And competitive jealousy is very, very wicked. Because when a person is, all right, think about a competition. Think about a race. It's competitive. You want to win. When a person is practicing competitive jealousy, it's no longer sportsmanship. It's now a personal competition of, I must outdo you.
Yes, so I was just about to say they must try to outdo you.
I must outdo you. And I'm going to do whatever I can to do it.
But one may think they're just trying to admire you. Like people would probably think they're trying, just admiring you, just admiring how you look. You see, some people might perceive it that way.
No, that's not the way. Because you can admire somebody, but if you're trying to be me, that's not admiring me.
And they wouldn't think it's wrong.
Well, it is wrong because they know what they're doing. You have people out there that will try to covet your wife and dress like her. That's like me and my wife is doing a show, and someone may see what we're doing, and all of a sudden they want to do the same thing. So what they do, they set up a stage, make a stage look similar, and then try to dress their woman up to look like my wife. That's called coveting thy neighbor's wife, coveting thy neighbor's assets, coveting thy neighbor's property. That's all that is. That's not someone admiring you. That's someone who see what you're doing, see that it's successful, and they're saying to themselves, wow, let me do the same thing because I want his results. And a lot of times you have women that covet other women because they'll look at a man's wife, see how she dressed, see how she carry herself, and because she's miserable, she figure, hey, if I can be like his wife, maybe I could get the attention of her husband.
Yes.
Maybe I can get the attention of other men if I do what she's doing.
And actually, we had someone told us that a long time ago, remember? Mm-hmm. I was like, weird.
And the thing is, when you When you're a person who is coveting other people, you're shortchanging your own self. You're shortchanging your own life because God put you here to be yourself.
Right, correct.
He didn't put you here to be another person. He wants you to focus on your abilities, your skills, your crafts, so that you can now go out there and become successful at what you do. But if you spend your life coveting after another person, it's going to only make you extremely jealous to the point where everything a person do, you mimicking, it's going to eventually drive you crazy.
That's true.
Because you're constantly trying to keep up. This is where we get the term keeping up with the Joneses. Keeping up with the Joneses.
So you will go in debt.
Going what?
You'll go in debt.
For what?
For just to try to go out your way to mimic someone, and you have to spend money for your clothing and all
So
these
give us
things
more
for
examples of
your
people
house.
going in debt
Just
to keep up. What would they actually do? Give the people
Like-
some examples.
okay, if I buy a new car, they want the same type of car, or they'll try to go over their means to get it better than yours
For what purpose?
to show off.
To show off. And here's the irony of competitive jealousy. When it comes to keeping up with the Joneses, a lot of times what people do is this. They'll go buy something, not because they need it.
Just to show you.
It's just to
They
show
got
you.
it, yes.
It's really just to show you. It's not because they need it. It's because they want you to see it. So that you can look at it and be like, you know what? I'm going to outdo that. And now you feel like you need to join the competitive jealousy movement and do something to outdo them. And now y'all got this back and forth jealousy that only the two of you
Yes.
know about. Everybody else around have no clue that you both are competing for whatever selfish attention. And it's toxic. And really, it's the sin of coveting. The Bible tells us not to be a covetous person. And to be honest, it's very, very sickening to get up every morning and you're constantly trying to be someone you're not.
And you're constantly thinking about what are they doing? What is their next move? It's like you can't sleep. You can't eat.
Can't
You're
sleep,
just-
can't eat.
You're just all over the place.
And you know what? Speaking of being all over the place, you got some people that they're not friends with you, but they worry what's going on in your house all day.
Yes.
They're constantly thinking,
I can feel that.
what are they doing? Where are they going? If they see you get out your house and go drive, they're wondering where you're going, where you're making your money, how you're making your money.
Yep.
Like, for example, I'm a content creator. So when I'm in this community, there are most likely neighbors that probably are sitting back wondering, I don't see him doing this. I don't see him doing that. If you find that you're a person that is doing that, you got a problem with competitive jealousy, because there should be no reason that you should be focused on me so much so that you're wondering what I do at every given point of the day. That's sick.
And there's a lot of people that do that. A lot. Like,
Because they want to know all your business
wow.
so that they can compete. Because it's all competition. A lot of you ladies, you may have situations where you have family members that they don't really appreciate you or want to hang with you, but they watch your social medias
Or they just want to come to your house
just to see what you got.
Yeah.
Not because they care about you, but because they want to come to compare notes. In other words, let me see how they living. Let me see if the kids got a bed.
Oh, wow.
Let me see your bedroom. And then when they look at your bedroom and your bedroom look better than their bedroom, now they try to change their bedroom around so it could look like yours. Now you went to their house, right? Mm-hmm. They stepped out the house and said you could just make yourself a home. You go to their bedroom, you're like, wait a minute. They got a picture like you. They bought a bed like you. They got everything. Their bedroom looked like your room.
Wow.
There are people, ladies and gentlemen, that covet you so much that if you were to go to their house, the layout of their house is like yours.
And they wouldn't think anything is wrong. It's a lot of people that think that.
I tell you,
nothing wrong with that.
That is, I can't do that type of stuff. I cannot try to copy another man, because here's the thing. That means that I don't love myself. That means that I don't care about me. I have more confidence in looking like you in order to make myself happy.
Feel good, yes.
It makes me feel good to be you. Matter of fact, I want to know what it's like to have
what you have
and the attention you get.
Yeah.
This is why a lot of times people want to act like celebrities. This is a lot of times why you have women, they want people to do their makeup like a particular female. Why? Because they want the attention. They want to know what it's like to be you. So if they can dress like you, drive like you, look like you, then they'll gain that. For example, you have some people that look like other people. Mm-hmm. You ever hear people that impersonate other people and they look like them? Well, why they do these things? Because they want to know what it feels like to be a celebrity, what it feels like to be a star. And when you're coveting that much, it gets to the point where you really believe you're that person. You've convinced yourself that you are that person.
All right, so let me ask you a question. So if someone comes up to you and they ask you, or no, not ask you, they say, oh, I admire you.
And?
Like, what would you tell them?
I don't really care.
I mean, you know, if they say they admire me.
Then they admire me. What do you want me to do? Jump for joy? I don't care.
But is that saying that they want to be like you?
You can admire somebody. That's one thing. Coveting someone is totally different.
Right.
Admiring someone is like, let's say, for example, this gentleman over here is a talented musician, and I get inspired from their music.
Okay.
I admire what they do so much that I hold them as an authority figure in music theory, music production. I watch their journey, and what that does, it motivates me to be better at what I do. I'm not trying to be them.
Right.
I just admire them to the point where I respect them.
Right.
I respect their work ethic. I respect how they keep themselves out of trouble, out of drama, and they're multi-talented, multifaceted in all different dimensions of music to the point where it makes me a sharper person in my work. I'm not trying to be that person. I'm not trying to copy their music. I'm not trying to copy their style, but I get great inspiration from them. For example, you know I have a collection of Yanni CDs.
Right.
So what does that mean? I admire Yanni as a musician.
Yes.
It doesn't mean I'm copying him.
Right.
It means that I respect him.
Okay.
So there's a difference between admiring someone and coveting someone.
Gotcha.
See, if I'm coveting someone, ladies and gentlemen, let's say, for example, the person that I'm using as an example, that I'm coveting that person, then what that means is I'm trying to take them out and replace them with myself. So what does coveting really mean? The person is trying to replace you.
Ooh, yes, all right.
So when a person covets, it's not just them trying to be you. They want to replace you with themselves.
So there's a big difference, right? Okay.
That's how coveting works. You could be on the job and somebody's coveting you to the point where they want to get you fired and get you out of that job title so they could take it themselves.
Wow.
You can have a person that's jealous of you and they covet you so much, they put a bad report in on the job so that they can get the job title and you could get demoted to a lower title. It's about replacing you. So coveting, or a person that's covetousness or practicing that, those particular individuals are in so much competitive jealousy with you, they want to replace you.
So that's evil.
Yes. You being around intimidate them. When a person covet you, it gets to the point where it's no longer just them trying to be like you. They no longer want to see you because they believe they're you, and they now look at you as if though you are trying to be them.
Oh, yes, that's deep.
That's how deep the sin of coveting thy neighbor gets. It gets to the point where they have impersonated you so long that they now look at you as a person impersonating them.
Wow.
They have convinced themselves that you're the duplicate and they're the original.
Oh boy.
That's why covetousness is so wicked. For example, I could be a YouTuber doing my thing. You could have other YouTubers that are inspired by my work,
Right.
and it helps them to become a better content creator. But then you can have YouTubers that are coveting me to the point where everything I do, they copy. Everything I say, they repeat. To the point where it becomes competitive jealousy. Now, whatever I do, they do. And it goes on and on and on. If I wear a polo, they want to wear a polo. If I wear J's, they want to put on J's. If they see me in videos where I got a nice outfit on, they want to get nice outfits because they want the attention. If they see people saying, yo, Ringo, I like the drip you wearing. I like this. I like that. They hear all of that and they're like, wait a minute. I want that. Can I get that too? So what do? They go shop. They go in debt. Like you said earlier, they go in debt, right? And why? Because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. That's what coveting will do.
To feel good. But I believe deep down inside, they're really feeling horrible. Sad.
Talk up more louder. You hear how loud my voice
Yeah.
is? They were complaining about your voice being low.
But my voice is going into the mic. So.
Okay.
So.
Explain yourself now.
That just made me lose my frame of
Now
thought.
she's saying that I made her mess up.
Yeah, okay. What I was saying is that they probably feel horrible and feel deep down inside they feel horrible and feeling bad at the same time.
Listen, people who covet you are demons. Let's stop making it seem like they feel bad. People who are trying to be you don't want you to exist.
Well, they're just miserable.
Listen, what is the old saying? They smile in your face. Backstabbers, they want to take your place. They want to take your place. So these are not friends.
Or they're not feeling bad.
They're not feeling bad. They are trying to eliminate you. So when you see or notice that somebody's coveting you, copying you, that's a serious thing. We're talking about a person who have the potential to try to take you out.
All right, so how do you deal with that?
How do you deal with people that covet you?
Yeah.
You continue to shine.
Ah.
You continue to maximize what it is you do. You continue to develop your craft to the point where they can't copy, to the point where they can't even get to that level. See, there's certain things people will be able to copy. For example, you can have a designer shirt, and then you can have a factory in China that can duplicate that design. Well, in order for you to be a successful company, right, you would have to design clothing that take expensive materials to produce the product, certain manufacturing techniques to perfect the product. So the more sophisticated the project is and the more details that are involved will require the covetousness person to now have to seek and figure how he can do the same. But it becomes very expensive. It becomes very time consuming for them to try to mimic you. For example, if someone is trying to covet me building a studio, they would have to become a carpenter.
Yep.
They would have to learn the skilled trade.
Oh, I know. Sometimes some people would pay other people.
They could pay whoever. That's costing money.
That's true.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're making it harder for them because now they got to spend money. But if you make it as simple as buy a cell phone, right? And that's all you need and you're ready to go. Anybody can get a cell phone.
Right. A new pair of shoes.
Anybody can buy a pair of shoes. But now, if somebody had to build this set,
Cost money.
it's going to cost money to do that. Number one, they have to have the space, the same exact space, in order to pull it off, right? And they would have to mimic everything you did. That takes time, it takes money, and guess what it's going to show? It's going to expose to others that view you that that person is copying. Why? Because if people see me and you doing this, and then they see somebody else pop up trying to do the same, guess what? That person has been coveting you the whole time.
And you did it first.
And you did it first.
Right.
So now getting back to my point about the studio. If I'm building a studio from the ground up and I'm laying the foundation, I'm doing the lighting, I'm doing the acoustical, I'm doing the equipment setup, I'm buying equipment, and it's costing me thousands of dollars to do this. If a person is trying to covet me, they got to spend a lot of money. They got to have the expertise to know how to put all of this stuff together to make it work. It ain't as simple as just saying, I'm building a studio. You got to know how to do this. And as you know, I've been doing this since the beginning.
Yep.
Since the beginning on YouTube, I always had a studio, right or wrong.
Carpenter by trade, yes.
Okay.
Indeed.
So this is not new to me when it comes to building,
It's a lot of work.
creating
Time,
projects, working on a stage set. This is not new.
dedication, you name it.
So
Effort.
getting back to the point of solutions, how to deal with people that covet you. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to be the kind of person that
Take it to the next level.
you take it to the next level. Because they're going to be stuck on this level. You got to take it to the next level. Because the person is going to get tired of copying you. And the more sophisticated and detailed your work ethic is and how you do what you do, the more complicated it will be for the person who is following everything you do. Now they're spending money. They got to learn this. They got to learn software. They got to learn graphic software. They got to do all these different things just to keep up with where you are.
So do you think eventually they'll get tired?
Well, it's not just about getting tired, because a person who is covetousness or practicing being a coveted person, people like that, they don't really get tired of competing or having this competitive jealousy spirit. What's going to eventually happen is they're just going to try to do it their way.
All right, so when does it end?
Well, it never really ends. It will end with that person and start again with another person.
Ooh.
Because the demon that is in that person is trying their best to take you out. Wow. So the goal of the devil is to use an Agent Smith to copy you in hopes to take you out so nobody is thinking about you. And if that person is unsuccessful, the demon will leave that person, right, jump in a new person that have way more knowledge than the first person. This new person, new devil, new level, new devil. So now that person is more skilled to compete with you. So now you got to step your ante up even more. And it's going to keep going until he finds another person to continue to covet, to be a thorn in your flesh.
So I think I have another question. So they are aware that you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they know. Okay.
There is such thing as competitive jealousy where the person who is competing, they are aware of what they're doing and you're aware of what they're doing. This is why I say it's a secret competition between you and that person. People on the outside cannot see, but only you two know what's going on.
Right.
Sometimes people make it obvious that they're coveting you. Like you'll do something, they'll do something. You'll buy a car, they'll buy a car. You'll buy a house, they buy a house. You buy clothes, they buy clothes. You buy a certain microphone, they want a certain microphone. They want to mimic everything you got.
Wow.
You buy a 2024 automobile, they'll wait for the 2025 to come out just so they could get it. Not because they need it, but because they want you to see them with it. So that they can hopefully get you to look at them as the better man.
They'll say to themselves, I want them to see too.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Because that's where they get their pleasure from.
Ooh.
They get their pleasure from seeing you look at them. Why? Because the whole time they've been looking at you. And they weren't taking pleasure in seeing you doing well. They would rather see you below them. There are people that covet others because they want you to be on the bottom. They want to outdo you. It's like the master teacher is teaching his student, but his student gets so tired of watching the master, the student now believes he know more than the master. It kind of goes back to how Lucifer was in heaven. He got tired of serving the creator and he coveted his position. And what it did, it got him kicked out of heaven to the point where he said, I will be like the Most High. Wow. And I will exalt my throne above the stars of heaven. That's what it means when someone covet you.
That's it.
They want to be exalted above you.
Ooh, yes.
They don't like their position. They're not happy with their position in life. They want to be where you are. For example, if you in the hood and you are part of a gang, there's certain rank when it comes to different brothers. You just got in the gang, you already want to be a boss. It don't work like that. You got to play your position. Sometimes people are not playing their position. They're not loyal to their position. Sometimes the hierarchies of brothers that pretty much are at this level, they might see you down here and recognize how you move, and then they promote you to that level. You understand? But sometimes you got men and soldiers that are on this rank. They feel they're qualified to be up here. So what they do is they begin to covet you because they want to be exalted. So when we look at people who covet, it's because they want to be exalted above you. That's why Lucifer got kicked out of heaven. Because he didn't want to play his position as an archangel. He wanted to be God. He wanted to be the one giving orders. So what do you think happens when people covet you? They don't want to be looked upon as just who they are. They want to be a boss. If I'm well respected on YouTube as an OG in these YouTube streets for being on YouTube since 2006, you'll have other cats that'll just start on YouTube like a month ago, and they already think they're a superior content creator. Like, you got to be out of your mind. Like, you just started on YouTube and you want to sit there and talk to me? Fam, go sit down. And you got a lot of guys that are like this. You have a lot of YouTubers that just started YouTube, not even 3 months. Not even 3 months. I've been on YouTube since 2006. 2006. Think about all those years of experience on social media. What makes you think as a new YouTuber you can come in and sit down with me and have a conversation? What makes you think that? With the knowledge and the information I know, who and how dare you think you can come in my vicinity and think that we're going to have this conversation? No, it's not going to happen. You got to pay your dues. You got to do your due diligence and put in the work. But a lot of times you got people that'll come in and think because they just got themselves a camera that they could just walk in and tell me how to do what I need to do. That doesn't make any sense. That person is competing with you. That's a person who is competitive in terms of being jealous, because there's nothing wrong with being competitive. We are a competitive people. In business, it's all about competition.
Yep.
If I have a store and you have a store, it's a battle for sales. It's a battle for customers. If you got a barbershop and I got a barbershop and it's on the same block, we all trying to make money. So it's all about how my prices are and the quality of my service that's going to compete with yours. It doesn't mean I hate you, but business is business. But the way it gets is like this. If that business was on that block before you started your business, the people know that business way more than yours. So in order for you to be respected the way they're respected, you would have to be a company that brings quality and value to the community, but you also got to respect that business too. But if you come into that community disrespecting that business, when the community know that business, you will be out of business. And that's how it is even on social media.
Wow.
So in your own personal life, you may have people that covet you daily because, number one, they want to be exalted above you. They want your job title. They want your house. They want your wife. They want your husband.
Wow.
They want your children. They want everything. You got neighbors that are jealous of you and they're coveting you every single time they see you. You got neighbors that will buy a new car just because they see you bought a car. You got neighbors that will go out and try to do things to make you see. You got neighbors that will go buy a boat just so you can see them going out with their boat because they want to be in competition with you so bad. They're hoping you buy a boat just so that they can tell the neighbors you're copying them.
Oh, okay. Well, because I was just about to say, like, I don't have a boat. Like, we don't have a boat. Or
But they want you to go get one.
Okay.
Just so they could tell the neighbors, look, you see them? They're trying to be like me. And the whole thing is not them trying to be like you. They want it to be known that you are trying to be like them. So they can feel good about themselves. Are you seeing that?
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you learned something from this.
Yes, I've learned a lot.
The solution to this issue, when you got people that's coveting you, is you must reinvent yourself. Always be the person that changes up what you do. Never stay the same. Anytime you stay the same in business, in anything you do, it's going to be very easy for people to copy you. Because why? You're not changing. So you're not innovating. You're not renovating.
Right, you are who you are.
You're stuck.
Right.
And it's just like technology. Technology have to advance every year. So if you're just being the same every year, it's going to be easy for someone to outdo you. And before you know it, somebody could take your style, the way you do things, and upgrade it to a better level. And if they do that, guess what? You lose. Now everybody's going to look at that person as if though they're the original, when really they just copied you the whole time.
Right, and you are who you are, and they just in the race.
Well, they're winning the race because you procrastinated on doing your due diligence and working hard to, again, reinvent yourself. It's about innovating, doing better, being creative. It's just like how I had the old studio in New York. Everybody loved that old studio. But when they see the new studio, they're going to go crazy.
And you're going to make it better.
It's going to be way better. All of the YouTubers that are on YouTube right now, when they see the complete project of my new studio, they're going to go crazy. They're going to look at it and they're going to be like, man, my goodness. Just when I thought I was doing something, here Ringo go, innovating and doing it better. So I set the bar very high. So anybody that's trying to covet off me, they got a lot of work to do. Think about how long it's been taking me to get that studio upstairs done.
Yeah.
So what makes you think you're going to be able to covet that and have the same results?
That's time, dedication, patience.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
A lot of work with wiring things, building things, constructing acoustic equipment. There's so much work that goes into that. Design techniques, math. So there's a lot of calculations you got to do in order to even get a room to sound the way I'm going to have my room. So good luck with coveting me. You know what I mean? Good luck, because I'm going to always be ahead of the game. Why? Because I'm an innovator, not an imitator. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you got people out there that are coveting you and you're trying to figure out, man, every time I do something, they're copying. Every time I do something, they're trying to be like me. Hey, just do what you do, continue to advance, and everything's going to be okay. So what say you? What are your final words on the situation?
Just shine and be who you are and continue to be successful, and they will see it.
Okay. So that's about it, right?
That's about it.
All right. So let's wrap up the show.
All right.
Catch y'all on the next one. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. And also make sure you subscribe to our new channel, We Gotta Talk TV. That's We Gotta Talk TV. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. We're going to have our full show over there pretty soon. So we're giving you kind of like a little taste of what to expect when we go to that particular channel. And it's going to be very, very nice, professional. It's going to be multicam setup. Everything's going to be very nice and professional. So that being said, y'all take care.
Peace.
Ringo TV Reactions. I got to get up to go shut off the phone. We out. Peace.